right now. They're 5.5 clear. 45 days into the season. They're 5.5 clear San Diego for the second spot.
They just lost 2 or 3 to the Pods, though.
I know.
Pods played them tough. Luis Arise, coming over from the Miami Marlins. Here come the Padres.
You know he has the slowest swing in baseball?
Who's that?
Luis.
Yeah, but he gets contact.
I know. It just goes to show you that everybody trying to hit dingers, he's doing it his way. I like it.
Bothers me.
And then this is who the Giants are going up against. So you've got tonight Gavin Stone, who I referenced earlier today, against Jordan Hicks. This is a big start for Jordan Hicks. Yep. I think this is a really big one. We'll talk about him in a second. And then you get Yamamoto, who after the first start has been pretty excellent.
Yeah.
4-1 with a 2.79 ERA. Keaton Wynn, scuffling his last two.
Last two scuffling. Coors Field was not pretty.
No.
That was nasty.
And then you get Logan Webb on Wednesday, and I don't even know who the Dodgers are going to pitch. So
Logan Webb's got to get right.
Yes.
He's had 3 straight. Well, the East Coast is just horrendous.
Yeah.
Friday night, not his best stuff. Not his best stuff in the loss to the Reds Friday night. So Logan Webb's got to be better. These are the games against the Phillies, against the Red Sox, against the Dodgers. These games, they linger with East Coast voters.
Yep.
They're all watching to say, okay, Logan Webb, is he this Fonte Hill kid, this idiot out there in the West Coast tweeting about Logan Webb being the best pitcher in the National League? Let's see if he is. The last 3 outings, he has not even been close to that.
No.
He's got to get back on track. He is the ace of the staff. He knows it. We all know it. I got faith in Logan Webb. I do believe in him. He's a big game pitcher, but he's got to step up against the Dodgers Wednesday. If anything, I don't care if they lose the first 2 games of the series. What is Logan Webb going to do? But you mentioned Jordan Hicks. This is a big game for him.
It is.
He's going to wear down. You're going to face this lineup. And you brought up Mookie Betts. Now, Shohei may play. I know he had some back tightness. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you still got Will Smith. You still got Freddie Freeman.
So Freddie Freeman's an interesting one. This is where, you almost wish that you could have set the rotation up to where the lefties, and they obviously don't have Snell. He's hurt. But, Freddie Freeman, just let me give you a quick one here. Now, Betts is raking lefties, 375. Yeah. Freddie Freeman versus lefties, 231. Mm-hmm. Versus righties, and that's who he's going to be facing this week.
Right.
352?
Yeah.
So, to your point.
And he's gotten off to a slow start overall.
Yes.
He got hot by his standards. Yes. He's been hot over the last few weeks. Will Smith, who I think, he reminds me so much of Buster Posey.
He is.
Maybe he's not the better. Posey behind the dish defensively is probably better than Will Smith. But with the bat in his hands, Will Smith may have more power than Posey.
I think he does.
But he goes to all fields. Yeah. He hits for average. He hits for power. And he's batting right there, cleared up with the Dodgers. Last year, he wore down towards the tail end. I think he has some injuries later in the year. But Will Smith is a baller. Look at his numbers, Shasky. What's he doing this year?
I will look that up for you.
Because I think he's batting well over 300, if I'm not mistaken, Will Smith. And I can look it up right here as the Dodgers and Giants get ready to meet for the second time this season, first time at Oracle Park. Go ahead, Shasky.
Well, no, I think this is a big opportunity for some of the young players. I think about Casey Schmidt going to get some run here with the Nick Ahmed injury at shortstop. And then you're going to see probably some combination of Yaz with Tyler Fitzgerald and Ramos, or maybe Matos and Ramos, or maybe one of the other and Tyler Fitzgerald. You're going to get some of those guys in the field. Catching, can you stop the speed of Mookie Betts once he gets on base?
Wow. So check this out. So Will Smith down to 306, 4 homers and 26 RBIs. Now listen, in March he was batting 455. In April he was batting 337. In the month of May, just 103.
Wow.
Last 15 days, Will Smith, 5 of his last 36, he struck out 9 times, batting just 139. And yet, batting 100 in May and batting 139 over the last 15 days, he's still batting 306 overall. Got out to the monster start.
Incredible.
So this lineup is tough, the first 4. Yamamoto versus Hicks. Oh.
No, tonight's Gavin Stone.
Gavin Stone, excuse me. See, I'm seeing here ESPN says Yamamoto.
Oh, MLB.com.
I have Gavin Stone in the fantasy league. They don't have a pitching. I'm looking at my fantasy team. They have a schedule for today and tomorrow, so I don't know what's going on. I think it's Gavin Stone, though.
Okay,
it is. I think you're right.
Either way, you're getting Yamamoto in this series. Yeah. And he's the other high-priced free agent. And everybody goes, he got rocked on opening day. Yeah, since then he's been excellent. And so, when you pay a guy $300 million to pitch, right now he's looking worth it.
And another guy who the Giants missed out on.
Well, I didn't think they had a legitimate. Quite frankly, I don't like giving a pitcher who's never thrown a pitch in
I don't either.
Major League Baseball.
I don't either.
$300 million.
But the talk around these parts, this media market, Spadone and Lubman, was that the Giants are in El Yamamoto.
Yeah.
How many tweets did we see? How many retweets I saw from Sam Lubman? Yamamoto, we're going to get him. We're the favorites. We're going to land him.
God.
Well, if not him, then it was Shota Imanaga, who's also balling. He looked like the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young in the National League.
Damn.
Yamamoto, that was supposed to be Farhan's white whale that he spent all this time kind of prepping for. That was the guy that they did all the work to get ready to jump in on him. Like, that was their guy. They circled years in advance.
Moby Dick
the same way the Warriors one time circled KD years in advance. Farhan tried to have that same thing, and
do not.
There's the difference right there.
Do not.
Why is Spinoni laughing?
Because he said the way that the Warriors circled KD.
That's my point, though. They tried to have their little KD moment, and because it's Farhan Zaidi, he face planted.
No, the KD moment was, we're bringing the big boys to the Hamptons. Let's seal the deal.
They put rings on the table. Right. They put rings and got Jerry West, the closer, to come in and put his rings on the table. Yeah. And then they said, do you want to win rings? Because we're going to win them without you or with you. The Giants were sitting here panhandling. Shine your shoes? Shine your shoes? Would you come to us? Are you kidding me? That's the worst analogy I've ever heard. It's actually more like when the Warriors were trying to court Ronnie Turioff from the Lakers, and they said, could you be our Ronnie Turioff winner guy? What are you talking about,
That was right after they fell flat for Elton Brand, right?
You're right,
Elton Brand, Kevin Garnett.
Elton Brand had no ACL, and the Warriors were like, we'll give you $200 million.
We'll give you no problem whatsoever.
Well, it's like
just take our
Dwight
money.
Howard.
Just take our money.
Oh, my God. Remember the Warriors being in the Dwight Howard conversation was a big deal?
Oh,
hey,
what? They're like the Giants now. Yeah. They were like the Giants now. The
Warriors, they circled Dwight Howard years in advance to try and target him.
So wait a minute.
They still want him. We're asking Joe Lacob about him. Circling Kirk Cousins.
We've got Joe Lacob fresh off the championship here in the studio. We're going to go to the lines.
When are we bringing DeMarcus Cousins back?
When are you going to sign a big man? Boogie's out there.
Joe Lacob looked at me and was like, really, Bonte? And I was like, hold on, I promise he gets better. And then Horace in Texas calls about Dwight Howard. And Joe Lacob just rolls his eyes about Dwight Howard. And the Warriors actually brought in Dwight Howard. They brought him in and was like, yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, this confirms everything we thought about you. Yeah, we don't want you. It's just not worth it in our locker room.
Can I ask a question, Lubman?
Hold on real quick. The Kevin Durant analogy
was the worst.
I'm thinking about it. No.
The worst analogy ever.
Hold on. I'm going to defend this analogy because the whole point was that. No, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go first.
I'm not going to rip you. I promise you, I'm not going to rip you. The Warriors go to the Hamptons, right? They're in the Hamptons in this big old mansion. And they meet Kevin Durant. And you got the logo. You got all the rings. You got Steph coming off 402 made threes. You got the 73
Jerry
wins.
West.
You got all this stuff happening, right? The Giants go and court Yamamoto with who? Fraud?
At the Courtyard.
I'm pretty sure Larry was there, too.
At the Embassy Suites. They were at the Embassy Suites in South City. They weren't even in the Hamptons. They're at the Hampton Inn around the corner from the Embassy Suites. Come on, love.
Who are they bringing in to court Yamamoto? You didn't even ask Barry Bonds.
No, you guys, you don't even listen to the analogy. But no, the analogy was they circled the guy years in advance. The difference was the Warriors were actually in a position to actually come through and sign that guy. Whereas Farhan, he thinks he's going to have this big moment where, I'm going to show them. I put all the work into it. But no, because you're a total fraud, you fell flat on your face, embarrassed yourself, and you embarrassed this organization. And then tomorrow night, we're going to get embarrassed again when Yamamoto twirls a gem. That's where the analogy stops. The analogy stops after the circling. Everything after that, that's where they diverge a complete different path, where you got the Warriors with their light years ahead approach and the Giants with their fall flat on their face approach. So that's the analogy. That's why it holds up.
He said the airport Embassy Suites, South City.
Am I wrong?
Even when they had Aaron Judge here. The Warriors had 2 games at home.
Can I let it be known? I like the Embassy Suites.
I like Embassy Suites.
I do too, but it's not the Hamptons, right?
It's not the Hamptons.
I was trying to make a joke.
Yeah,
I like the Embassy Suites. They might be a sponsor one day.
Wait a minute. I say to the Embassy Suites at LAX, and Let me tell you, that was some experience.
Continental breakfast.
They did have a lot of bacon. Listen.
We love Hilton around here.
They courted Aaron Judge. And I'm thinking, we had to pitch. Take it to a Warriors game. Courtside. Steph's played. Video tributes. Left and right. They didn't even
This station did more to recruit Aaron Judge and the Giants.
Well, no, Aaron Judge was recruiting himself back to New York with the planted photographer, camera woman person as he jumped out of a moving vehicle to go through the front door of a hotel that he had access to the back of, so he could be like, "Yep, I'm in San Francisco. Cashman, give me another $100 million."
Remember the old Senores when you got off in San Bruno?
Yeah.
See, Aaron Judge, he knew.
He took Yamamoto to the motel that has no name next to it to go beat him up. Right, when you get on the freeway, go to the
I know exactly.
Do you think Aaron Judge circled the Giants years in advance? I'm going to play those guys in a few years to get more money.
Those are the honeycomb hideout motels. You know, when you creep in left and right, you go to the hotel. I'm driving by there all the time. I always see some weird scenes over there like, boy, what's going on at that one? Let me shut up before I get them shut down, man. But basically, it's a difference when
honeycomb hideout. This is an Andre Nicotino.
Seriously,
it's just different when you got Jerry West, Steph Curry, Clay, Iguodala, Draymond, Lacob, Bob Myers, Steve Kerr throwing all the rings on the table, and you got Farhan Zaidi circling Yamamoto,
throwing the stats on the table.
They got Mookie Betts. We got Austin Slater. Like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, man. But it's
the truth. This is what Farhan's built. Farhan built this, whatever you want to call it, and then showed it off to Yamamoto and be like, oh, man, we circled this well on our calendar years ago to show you this that we have, this amazing Mike Yastrzemski-led Giants team.
So I'm still in this.
I got a joke for you, Bonte.
Yeah, I got a joke too, Big Bud.
It's the farm system for the Giants.
That's what Farhan said to Yamamoto.
Listen, San Jose Jazz fan, I'm still in this for him. You guys always say radio Bonte, TV Bonte. Well, we got Radio Lumpman and Dugout Lumpman. Radio Lumpman, Farhan's a fraud. He can't do anything. Dugout Lumpman, hey, Farhan, what do you think about jumping on the Color Fries and Baseball Guys podcast? I really like what you're doing. I see your plan with the farm. Oh, I'm really feeling what's going on in San Jose. I like the way you're approaching Luciano, giving them at-bats every single day, not calling up Matos or Ramos until they're ready to go. Oh, Dugout Lumpman, I like that.
Farhan, I really like the amount of care you put into preparing for Yamamoto. You know, it didn't work out that well, but you know what? Hey, it happens. Then, on the radio, you fell flat on your face, you little egghead.
Dude.
So people are out on Farhan, huh?
Something like that.
It bothers me.
Is there a different feel in that clubhouse this year?
I mean, so far, it's just kind of like the early part of the year where everything's still like fresh and new, so everyone's still kind of enjoying each other. I wasn't in the clubhouse after yesterday's game, but a friend of mine who was in there said it was kind of low-key upbeat after the game. So, yeah, I mean, the darkness hasn't fully set in yet. The downfall is not quite near.
The downfall is near, and it's coming hard.
415 extending mobile text line. I circled Holly Berry in my 20s. ... Oh, well.
That's good.
You got to plop those rings down.
That's really good. No, but like, honestly, like Lemon, at one point.
I'm laughing through the page, dog.
No, I know, but I think this is a seminal moment.
Full of baloney.
Like here's the irony. I actually enjoyed this weekend, and look, the injuries suck. I'm really hurting for Jung-Hoo Lee. It sounds like he's going to be out a long time, right? That sucks. Nick Ahmed, I don't have a lot of familiarity with him, but he was playing okay. Not perfect, but okay. Now he's 34. You replace Crawford with a guy almost as old as he is, not as good of an arm. Whatever. Okay, whatever. Put that to the side. No one's rooting for Slater to get hurt, right? But we all wanted to see the young guys. So the silver lining, the unintended consequences, you get to see the young guys. And after watching the Reds this weekend, who run like crazy and have a very exciting lineup, even though they're kind of a couple years away, it's like, man, that's a really fun roster. And I look at the Giants roster and I say, like, okay, although nowhere near as good as the Reds in terms of promise over the next couple years as prospects, I enjoyed watching Ramos for one weekend.
Oh, it's a great Saturday.
I enjoyed watching Casey Schmidt play shortstop. I'm optimistic to see what Luis Matos might look like this time around. I know, we'll see with Brett Wisely over at second base. Like, I don't know, it feels like a stopgap. But like, there was some optimism. Will that dissipate if these guys struggle for 2 straight months? I'm sure it will.
Absolutely.
But for the short term, I felt a little something different this weekend. So I'm ready to take on the Dodgers, even if we get boat raced. Let's see if these young guys have a little fight in them.
No, I do. I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I mean, you got to show us. You got to show us. Call Luciano while you're at it. Get Montos is back. Ramos is back. I'm happy with that. Center and right field will be taken care of. You can scale back a little bit with Mike Yastrzemski, even though he's not playing terribly. But Mike Yastrzemski, you scale back with him because I'm with you. Yaz is not part of the future. He's not. He's not. But he's playing a lot better than Alton Slater.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
He may have to play left now or Ramos will probably play left and Yaz will play right because Conforto may be out for a while.
I think he's going to be out for a while.
Hamstring. I think he's out for a month.
Well, the oblique thing that I circled, and we talked about, like baseball oblique injuries, about a month.
Not
Hamstring, it's a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks.
Could be 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of youngsters, and I'm happy about that. Can the pitching keep them in games? Can the bats start to fly around? Hey, look, there's a lot of pressure on Chapman, and when Soler gets back, there's a lot of pressure on him to start to deliver, especially with Jung Hoo Lee. Now, I worry about this too, Shasky, in the league.
What's that?
That is emphasized speed. The Giants' lack of speed on the base pass is alarming. That still wasn't addressed. Out of all the issues they had last season, well, they did it fine. Hey, you need to become more athletic. You need more speed. They still seem to be one of the slowest teams in baseball. How? Because
they built a roster of a lot of slow players. I mean, that's just what it is. Like they don't covet athleticism. Like,
why? There's the lack of shifting now. You put rules in place where you don't shift as much. You're watching all these guys steal bases left. The Reds were still bases left and right. It felt like everybody had a green light on their team, starting with De La Cruz. The Giants, for some reason, have not embraced what baseball's becoming. Okay, not everybody's hitting home runs, but you can still manufacture runs by having big-time speed on it. We just saw the Durant kid in Boston. It was a one-man wrecking crew for the leadoff spot.
I know.
So I
think that when I look at just their farm as a whole, like part of why the Padres are in on a guy like Arraez who's available is they have an entire farm that other teams covet. And people around the league are like, oh, well, if you're in the Padres system, I know you're going to be a certain type of a player. Dodgers, same thing as well. I think that the book is out kind of on the Giants farm, and I don't think people covet them. I look at Luciano as a great example. He's 22. By baseball terms, it's not the oldest, but it's certainly not 20. Right. We just saw Jackson Merrill, is it Merrill Jackson or Jackson Merrill for San Diego?
He had 3 hits yesterday.
Yeah, he's 20. 20, okay? Playing right now. Gunnar Henderson was 21.
Yep.
21. I believe Jackson Holiday, who got brought up and then came back down and is now struggling in AAA. 19? Like that. The age of these young players is younger and younger and younger and younger. And yet I look at the Giants farm system and some people aren't, but I'm like, no, Bryce Elder just might be a great draft pick, but the fact he's already a top 5 prospect in your system tells me the rest of your farm is very weak. He might individually be very good, and that might be an outlier. Great, and I'm happy for it. But like, really? Like they promoted Reggie Crawford, the two-way player from UConn that they drafted a couple years ago to AAA. I'm excited to see him. We saw Mason Black yesterday. I liked it, or was it 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. I liked it. I liked what I saw, but he's still clearly a little far away.
I haven't heard much about Wizenhunt in the farm yet.
A lot of their guys are struggling.
Yeah, it was a hot name last season. The Giants dead last in the league in stolen bases. Shaska, they have 13 stolen bases on the season. The Reds have 72. The Brewers have 53. The Nationals have 68.
See, that's an organizational philosophy to me. So, like, they have clearly said to themselves, like, we are going to try to put an emphasis on it. The other part of this is defensively, the Giants can't slow the running game down.
No, they can't.
Right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, so there's a two-way thing there.
So they don't have team speed. They don't have a lot of athleticism. They don't run the bases well. They just don't. That to me is the biggest disappointment of the season because I thought they would be more athletic.
Yeah, but why?
I thought we would get more from Joe.
Chapman's not a base stealer.
Maybe I'm a fool.
Lamont's not a base stealer.
But I wanted to see more speed.
Yeah.
I want to see more speed.
I just don't think
that's why I wanted to have Jung Hoo Lee and Tyro Estrada bat 1-2. At least I can emphasize my quickest guys who can steal some bases. But even Jung Hoo's not stealing bases. So